There is a small island off the Dutch coast, Rotterdam to be exact, where a woman once walked into courtrooms that no one else dared enter. She wore black, always black, eyes rimmed in darkness, a vintage Porsche parked outside. For over 4 decades, Ines Wesky was the most feared criminal defense attorney in the Netherlands. She stood between the state and the accused, and the state almost never won. But today she is the one in the dock. Ines Natalie Wesky was born on February 10, 1955 in Rotterdam. She grew up as the youngest in a large family, spending part of the 1960s in Israel. She finished her studies in private and administrative law in 1976, worked briefly at the Ministry of Health, and became a lawyer in 1978. From day one, she picked the hardest cases, the ones nobody else would touch. She built her reputation defending figures like Daisy Bouterse, Gus Cohenhoven, and Sister P, a Chinese human trafficker. Cases couldn't be complicated enough for her. She became a fixture on primetime talk shows, her face in every newspaper. For years, she served as jury chair of the Groot Dictie der Nederlandse Taal, the Netherlands' most prestigious spelling competition. She was everywhere, celebrated, untouchable, and prosecutors, they feared her because she attacked illegal wiretaps, surveillance operations, and infiltrations, and used controversial witnesses to dismantle their cases. She wasn't just a lawyer, she was a weapon. So when Ridouan Taghi, the most wanted narco in Dutch history, needed a lawyer after his arrest in 2019, there was only one name. She had represented him even when he was still an unknown street dealer. Of course, he wanted her for the Marengo trial. Taghi was arrested in Dubai in December 2019. Since then, he has been held in the extra-secure institution, the EBI Vught, the most heavily fortified prison in the Netherlands. A man accused of ordering multiple murders, running a cocaine empire worth hundreds of millions, and, according to prosecutors, continuing to direct his criminal network from inside a cell. The question was always, how? How does a man locked in the most secure prison in the country still run an international drug operation? The prosecution believes they have the answer. Her name is Ines Wesky. But that answer didn't come overnight. For years, investigators were chasing something they couldn't fully see. Fragments of communication, encrypted networks, messages that appeared, then disappeared, leaving behind no clear trail. Inside the EBI, everything is controlled. Every movement, every visit, every second is accounted for. It is designed to be airtight, a place where influence is supposed to end. And yet, somehow, information kept moving. Not in large, obvious transfers, but in small, precise fragments. A sentence here, an instruction there. Enough to give direction, enough to maintain authority, enough to keep an empire alive from behind reinforced walls. Authorities knew this wasn't random. It couldn't be luck, because systems like this don't fail quietly. They fail through access, through proximity, through trust. Someone somewhere was close enough to move through those layers without raising alarm, close enough to pass between two worlds, the outside and the inside. And in a system built on strict rules, surveillance, and control, there is only one role that moves freely between both. One role that is protected, untouched, unquestioned, a defense lawyer. That is what makes this case different. This is not just about crime. It is about the one position in the system that is built on absolute trust. Because if that position is compromised, if that line is crossed, then the entire structure, the courts, the prisons, the process itself, starts to crack. And once that happens, it doesn't just affect one case. It affects every case that comes after. April 21st, 2023. Officers and a prosecutor forced their way into her home. As she was arrested, she said, "You know I didn't want this. You must have seen the messages. You also know I won't survive this." The prosecution would later present those words as a spontaneous confession. She spent 42 days in pretrial detention. The Dutch Public Prosecution Service, the OM, accuses Wesky of being part of Taghi's criminal organization. According to them, she exchanged over 8,000 encrypted messages with Faisal T, Taghi's 24-year-old son. By doing so, they claim, she helped Taghi continue running drug trafficking and money laundering operations from inside prison. The method, they say, was simple. She received a PGP-encrypted phone from the Taghi network. Under the nickname Upi, she communicated with Faisal, known as Poet. They exchanged messages about drug shipments, payments, and control of the organization. Later, the system evolved. Messages were placed on USB sticks. Wesky would print them and show them directly to Taghi inside prison, using her privileged, unsupervised access as his lawyer. The prosecution calls her role crucial, because nobody else could get that close. But what happened after her arrest may be even more shocking. From April 24th to May 2nd, 2023, 9 days, Wesky was held in a secret underground detention facility at Kamp Zeist. The Dutch Justice Inspectorate later ruled that this violated national law and international human rights conventions. Her defense team called it no-touch torture. A psychiatric report confirmed she developed post-traumatic stress disorder. Legal psychologist Peter Van Koppen described the method as similar to the CIA's Alice in Wonderland technique. Total disorientation, rotating guards, irregular food, no human contact, and then, once broken, an offer. According to Wesky, become a state witness against your own client. She refused. Now, this is happening in real time. After years of delays, the trial began on April 2nd, 2026, at the Rotterdam District Court. The prosecution is demanding 4.5 years in prison. They say her role in sustaining Taghi's empire was decisive. Wesky walked into court dressed, as always, entirely in black. She looked directly at the judges and said, "I carry too many secrets and too much responsibility for human lives. I cannot break that." Her defense team pushed back. They challenged the legality of the evidence, the conditions of her detention, and demanded full acquittal. Wesky says she was in a medically critical condition at the time of her arrest. Heart problems, severe diabetes, barely able to stand. In that state, she says, she could not have made the statements the prosecution claims. Then came April 10th, 2026. Her defense attorney told the court the evidence is incomplete, unreliable. The word suspicion appears over 1,100 times in the prosecution's own case file, a narrative built on fragments, possibly as little as 37% of total communication. The defense goes even further. They argue the prosecution has lost the right to prosecute entirely because of how it handled the investigation and detention. And this is where the case becomes bigger than one woman. Across the Dutch legal world, a serious question is now being asked. If the state can cross the line to prosecute a defense lawyer, who protects the system? Attorney-client privilege is supposed to be sacred. Break that, and the entire legal system starts to collapse. So what is she? A perpetrator? A lawyer who secretly ran communications for a narco-empire? Or a victim? A 71-year-old woman pressured, manipulated, and pushed beyond her limits by a network that operates even from inside prison walls. Even the prosecution admits they cannot fully rule out that she acted under pressure, but they argue a lawyer of her experience should have asked for help, not complied. The court has not ruled. The verdict is still to come. The 8,000 messages exist. The encrypted phone exists. The 9 days in an underground bunker, confirmed illegal, exist. What we still don't know is why she did it, if she did it. And that question is still open, right now, in a courtroom in Rotterdam. Analysis terminated.